Welcome guys to another gaming collection update for the month of August. I'm really excited to show you guys some of the collectibles. A lot of different consoles got switched out in the game room and in the movie room, so I'm excited to start showing you what I'm doing with that and why I'm changing these consoles out and what we'll be doing in the future. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so here we are with another gaming collection update. We're here with the month of August. We got a lot of cool stuff here, some stuff as usual that I can't really bring over here and show you, so we'll be doing a little bit of that. And everything that you see here I got this month, so I'm really excited because I actually added a lot of stuff this month, and it may seem like some of this stuff was, you know, really expensive, and we'll get into that, but it really wasn't. So, but we'll get into that when we get to it. Some of the stuff was a little expensive, but I got a lot of cool stuff this month. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Let's touch on the Switch drum here. So, the first thing that we got here is, if you guys have been keeping up with my gaming collection videos, this is actually my second one because I really wanted to have two-player mode on here for Tekken no Sanjin, if I'm even pronouncing that correctly, on the Nintendo Switch. I really liked that game a lot. It was my first time ever playing that series, and I was really obsessed with the drum version of it, so I got a second one to be able to play with now with two people. So, we'll put that here to the side. Some of the other things that I added that I can't really show here, and it would be a pain to unplug, is for my Dreamcast and original Xbox. For the Xbox, I got the pound cable, HDMI cable. It's a really cheap cable. It's like $25, I believe, on Amazon, and basically lets you connect your original Xbox to an HDMI. Through HDMI really easily, and does a little bit of upscaling. So I had no issues doing that, and it runs beautifully, and it runs a lot better than it did before. So I'm really happy with the way that cable is performing. I didn't see any noticeable lag or anything like that with that cable. And then I also got the Dreamcast cable. I got the, is it Gecko? I think is how it's pronounced. Gecko cable, I believe is what it's pronounced. If anybody wants to know exactly what cable I got for the Dreamcast, leave the comments down below. So I don't forget, and I'll link you guys the exact cable that I got. But basically, I got this cable, and it basically lets me run Dreamcast games as if you were running like a VGA cable, basically. But instead, you're running it through HDMI, and it runs really, really well. It's using the VGA signal inside the Dreamcast, but letting it run through an HDMI cable instead, because it's hard to come by with the VGA cable. So now I have the Dreamcast hooked up to one of my TVs over there, so it looks really, really good, much better than it did before, very noticeable. So I was really happy with that cable, and well worth the investment that was. So let's do a couple of things that are here in front of us. So let's start with the board games that we got this month. So for the board games that we got three different board games, one being an expansion. So first one here we got this month is Spot It. Spot It is a very quick and easy game that you can play with up to 8 people. Basically, you put a card down, and you have to immediately scream what picture on there matches one of your pictures in your hand, and then you yell it out, and then you grab the card, or you take your card and you put it on top of it, and the first one to clear all their cards wins. And it's basically just a bunch of pictures like a snowflake and stuff, snowflake, butterfly, stuff like that. And you're just trying to get rid of your hand as fast as possible. So that's a really cool game to play in the beginning of the night when you're getting ready to play, like, you know, the major game is how I look at it. Another really good game that I only heard about recently, and I'm really, really having a lot of fun with this one, is called Space Team. Basically what it is it's best described as a competitive shouting game. Basically, the ship is going down, you're trying to fix the ship, and you're playing cooperatively with all your teammates, and you're trying to fix different positions of the ship, and you're yelling at each other saying, hey, I need this piece, I need that piece, and sometimes you get a card that tells you that you have to, like, everyone has to switch, you know, chairs, all these crazy things that you have to do within a game, that you have to do before you can actually proceed and continue fixing the ship. It's a really crazy, fast-paced game. The games are only 5 minutes long because there's a 5-minute time limit, and it's crazy and a lot of fun. Space Team is a really good one. Something else that we have here is Disney Villainous. If you guys have seen my previous videos, you know I'm a really big fan of this game, and this is an expansion that came out. This one adds Scar from The Lion King, Isma, and Ratigan. So 3 different villains now added to the game, so I'm really excited to add that to the collection of Disney Villainous, because this game is so much fun to play. I hope they keep bringing expansions to this game, because I'm having a lot of fun with that. Some of the other things that we got, let's go ahead and look at this right here. So we got some Ready Player One swag here. We got a collectible IMAX ticket when we saw the movie. and when we saw this in theaters. And it's a really cool IMAX ticket that they have here, so I'm happy to have that. And then along with the pins for the movie as well. So added that to the collection as well. So really happy to have that. Speaking of other things that I added that aren't in front of us, we're going to switch over to the consoles that I added and give you a little bit of background on what that is. So let's go ahead and switch to that video now. Alright, and on this side, guys, I'm showing you now the consoles that I got, because I got too many and I'm obviously not going to bring them over there and unplug them, but I got a lot of consoles this month. Basically what happened was I'm obviously not going to be able to buy every single special edition console, because I don't have the room for it, nor am I going to do that, and I don't have infinite amount of money. So what I decided to do is I sold off any regular edition systems that I had and replaced it with my favorite special edition console. So, for example, if we start here on the Wii U, I sold the Wii U off, the regular one, and now I have the Zelda edition one here. I did add a second Xbox One, which I was planning on doing anyway, but this one I got an Xbox One S in this room, Gears of War edition. So this is a really nice one. And then right next to that, we added the Super Smash Brothers dock. Really nice dock there. And over here we added the PS4 Pro Spider-Man edition console, so that was really nice. And moving down here below, we added the Xbox 360 Star Wars edition. And we added the PS3 Final Fantasy edition for the PS3. This is a Japanese console. So that is all the systems I added this month. I'm still going through some old systems and selling some other ones off, just to be able to get newer systems that are special editions. So it's still happening. But this whole side over here and this whole room obviously now has a special edition of every system. So this one is basically done. There's some other ones that I added to the other side that I'm working on, which you guys will eventually see as well. But let's go ahead and go back to the video. Alright guys, so as you guys just saw in that video, I'm really happy to be able to switch these consoles out and stuff like that, to be able to add special edition consoles that I really like. And look forward to next month's video, and probably for the next couple of months, while I switch out my regular edition ones that are just, nothing special about them, and moving them on to something, actually limited or something like that I really like from that console series. So I'll be doing more of that. So keep an eye out for that in the future videos. Moving on to some of the Nintendo things I got this month. You can see here I got this Nintendo sign that's going on top of the glass shelves to show that all of that is Nintendo. So this is a really cool piece. Really nice and cheap. It was only like $10, 3D printed. Came out really good. And then I found this at a garage sale. So this is the Super Mario Bros. TV show. Never actually saw it. Still haven't seen this. I gotta pull this up and see how it is. But happy to add that in my collection for my Super Mario collection. And seeing what that's like. I heard mixed things. Some people are like, oh, it's nostalgic and it's really good. And other people are like, no, it's a terrible show. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And something else that I added that is Nintendo, that is over there, that is behind so many things that I was like, oh, I really don't want to take this out, is the Nintendo Power First Edition. So I already had the Nintendo Power Last Edition magazine that came out a few years ago when that magazine ended. I had the last edition sealed, never opened. It's still in there. And now I have the first one that ever came out, and it's really a really nice condition. I was able to get it pretty cheap, actually, as well. So I was really excited to have that. Now I have the first edition and the last edition that came out, so I'm really happy to add that to the collection as well. Some of the other things we added here in front of us, if we're looking at the PS3 stuff, we added some PlayStation Move games this month. So Kung Fu Rider was a couple of dollars that I found. I think I literally got this for $2. Yeah, so it's a PlayStation Move game, so added that. And then we added this book here that's called Book of Spells that comes with this book and this game. This is actually in partnership with J.K. Rowling for Harry Potter, which I totally forgot this game existed when it came out. So this is really cool. If you're a fan of Harry Potter and you have a PlayStation Move, this is something especially because you can get it cheap. I got this for $5 for both of these things. It's just a really cool experience if you're a Harry Potter fan. It's giving you lore of the world. You're in there, you're doing some spells and stuff, and the narrator is really good. So it's definitely not like the most amazing game ever, but it does work, and it is really cool to use the PlayStation Move in this game and how things pop out of the book when you're looking on the screen and they're in front of you. So Definitely worth it if you could pick this one up cheap, and especially if you're a fan of Harry Potter. Some of the other things we added to the collection for my Uncharted shelf that I've been working on, I decided to show off these two items only. One of the other things that I added, which was also one of the other pain items to get out of the back of the shelf since I got it a while ago. If you guys are familiar with the art of Naughty Dog, that's basically the name of the book. They basically had a collector's edition. The collector's edition is basically through the history of Naughty Dog. Since I have a Naughty Dog shelf, it was really a perfect piece to add into there because it goes through all their games, you know, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Last of Us, and all that, and it has like art prints for each one, has artwork for each one. It goes to the history of them and all that stuff. Really, really cool art book, and those books go for like $300+. So I was waiting to get that for a long time till I finally got it on a deal from somebody, and I was finally able to add that to the collection. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer to get that because, you know, I wasn't ready to dish out $300+ on just an art book, but I finally got it at a good price, and I was really happy to add that to the collection. And on top of that, I also added the Uncharted Lost Legacy poker set. This came from Gamescom. Got a couple of items from Gamescom that went on that shelf, this being one of them. And also these two little Last of Us figures here from Joel and Ellie. So, really cool stuff there for the shelf. Another thing I was really happy to add this month for sure is a Vectrex controller. This is my Vectrex controller that I added. I'm really happy to add this because I already had one. And I never really had any intentions to get a second one because I didn't really play any games that actually, you know, I actually cared about playing with another person. But then I found out, speaking of Vectrex, I haven't gotten a Vectrex game in a long time, but I heard about this game when I was looking up fun two-player games, Space Wars on the Vectrex. God damn, this game is fun. For somebody who's, you know, a really big fan of games like Towerfall, 4-player local multiplayer, and all those things, this basically is you're in a, you know, you start off as one ship, you are one ship, and your friend's another with the other controller. You basically have a certain amount of health and bullets that you get to hit, and you have to shoot each other down. First to hit each other down 10 rounds in a row is not 10 rounds in a row. 10 kills basically in the match is declared the winner. So it's basically one of the first original games that did like a 1v1 duel type of game where you're in your own spaceship, you're shooting, you're trying to kill each other and stuff. I don't know if you guys can see the front of that label and the back of it. This thing's popping out a little bit. And you can see the back of that there as well. But this is an awesome, awesome game. I got this complete in the box and with the game. And the reason why I got on the Vectrex controller. Obviously now I'll be looking for other two-player games that are on the Vectrex, but this was my primary reason. And it was well worth it. I love this game. It's now my favorite Vectrex game I own. No contest. So another couple of things that I added here is a couple of controllers. We added a Halo 3 controller that we added to the collection. One of the other things, I don't know if I talked about it in my previous video, along with the consoles, I started leaving out my favorite special edition controllers as well. So if you guys are familiar with my game room, there's a 4K TV here behind the camera, and I have controllers sitting on there. And then I also have another side of this that I also added as well. In the movie room, and it's in the center console, and I have all the controllers on there that, you know, coincide with the controllers that are sitting in the movie room with all those consoles I showed you earlier. So, you know, sitting over there, we have the Spider-Man controller from the Spider-Man PS4 that you guys saw. We have this PlayStation White controller that matches the Final Fantasy one that's over there. We have the Gears of War controller that's sitting over there that came with that console you guys saw. We have, you know, a Wii controller sitting over there. The Xbox One controller sitting over there for the Gears of War console you saw there as well. And the Star Wars controller sitting over there that came with the Xbox 360. So all those controllers are sitting over there, and then I have more controllers over here on this side that I show off. If I'm looking over here, I got like the the Splatoon Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I have the Zelda Wii controller. So all those things, all those controllers are being shown off. So these are the two that I added this month. So I'll be adding more controllers as the time goes on. And also added this to the Wii, the blue nunchuck to go, because I had the blue one, but I didn't have the actual nunchuck. So happy to add that to the collection as well. Coming down here to the last few pieces that we added here, we added something that I'm doing that you guys may not be aware of. I don't think it was mentioned on the previous one either. Is that I actually did a lot of rearranging. I don't even know if it was in my previous gaming setup tour because this may have been done mid-season and now I changed it. But basically, one of my glass cabinets in this room used to be dedicated. One on the right was Nintendo, and the other one over there was 90s. But if you guys remember when I walked down the stairs in my game room tour, when you first walked down the stairs, that was also 90s related. And it was driving me insane that I basically had two areas, one over there by the stairs, 90s area, and then I had a glass shelf completely full, top to bottom of 90s stuff, and I really wanted to combine those two. And I added some shelves, I did some, things hung on the wall and stuff like that I was really happy about. So I was able to get rid of everything on that 90s glass shelf and put it over there. So now basically what I have going on is in the movie room, I have an Xbox glass shelf, a PlayStation glass shelf, or a Sony glass shelf, and then over here we have the Nintendo shelf that got moved over there. And now this one, which is mostly empty, that is completely being worked on in a month or two once I finish everything else, is the Sega shelf. So this is now going to be a Sega shelf with like Sonic collectibles and Dreamcast collectibles, collectibles from my favorite games. So finally have a Sega shelf. I think those are the main four that I wanted in my collection as far as to dedicate glass shelves to, was an Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Sega. So happy to finally figure that out. So some cool stuff that you guys should be interested in when I do my next gaming setup tour. Something to look forward to that is going on in this room. And a couple of things I added for God of War is the God of War shield and the God of War axe here that we added as a collectible that I added to the God of War shelf that's also in the movie room as well. So yeah, it looks like everything we added this month and all the consoles that we added. Like I said, guys, if you guys have any questions about anything I showed off here today, as always, you can always leave your questions down below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We added a lot of cool collectibles this month and look forward to even more collectibles next month and more consoles. I already have a console on the way as we speak. As you guys are watching this, there's a console on the way, and I already have a console that came in today that just didn't make this video that's sitting over there. So some cool stuff already lined up for next month, and we're not even started on next month because today it's only the 4th of the month, so plenty of time to add even more collectibles. So, and we're obviously in primetime gaming season now. So guys, that's it for me. If there's anything you guys want to know, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
Tech, UrGamingTechie is the gaming tech, UrGamingTechie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, UrGamingTechie is the gaming tech, UrGamingTechie.